Why are you so tense, god damn it?
Because I don't know what I'm doing!
Calm down.
Hello everybody! Philly Kuts with another beer review. Long time no see, no beer. But hey, you know, I do the best I can with this. Today I'm going to try, well I've already tried this beer about 100,000 million times, both at home and in the bar. Guinness Draught Stout. Now this is the Guinness version beer that you will find at the bar, at least in the pub in the United States. Or I should say bar, we don't really say pub, or at least not that much. It has a nitrogen widget in here. It's usually like a ping pong sized plastic ball. And they give a nice analysis of what this beer is comprised of. There it is there. And now I shall read it to you, because a lot of people think that Guinness is like this big, thick, heavy beer. And it actually isn't. It's actually a lot of times lighter than most regular lagers. For instance, this 12-ounce Guinness has 125 calories, 9.9 grams of carbs, 0.3 grams of protein, and no grams of fat. Now, this is out of St. James Gate, Dublin. I got my Guinness glass, finally, once again for a Guinness beer. Now, I've done the Guinness Extra Stout, which I liked. So we're going to try to be critical here, because people, especially here in the US of A, regard this beer almost as like a religious experience. I'm not even kidding you. Like, people, I think, really go over the top with the Guinness love and all the fake Irish Americans that are here, you know. Because I remember when I was in Europe and I tried to play that shit where I'd say I'm Irish, or I'd say that I'm Czech, you know, all my ethnic ancestry, you know, Hungarian. They laughed in my face, man. They're like, I mean, this is when I was backpacking in Europe. They were like, "You're American, pal." And for the first time in my life, I really understood what that meant. Alright, let's pop the top. Ooh, you hear all that nitrogen, and look at all that nitrogenous smoke. Alright, let's pour this in. And if you were at the pub, they would pour it out a little bit, you know, maybe not even that high, and they would let it settle, because look, well, you might not really see it in this camera, but it kind of has that reverse waterfall effect, and that's basically because there is so much carbonation that it like goes all the way up and then it rushes back down. So what you really see are these awesome, at least in my view, you probably don't see it on the camera, but awesome spectral waterfall-like caramel and dark brown colors. Let's pour a little more out. Oh, there we go. Little bit more. And I have no idea if the camera's picking this up, but it definitely looks like a Guinness. It's got the creamy, off-white tannish head, about a finger thick. It's definitely opaque. You're not going to see anything. You're not going to see my face behind this. Let's get a whiff. It smells nice and sweet. Malty. It's got that burntness. Because let's face it, wasn't Guinness originally an abortion that lived? You know, they kind of burnt the malts or some sort of ingredient. It was burned or something, and they were going to throw it out, but then they were like, well, wait a minute, let's try it, and thus you have Guinness. So let's get a taste. I'll tell you, man, very like light-bodied. I mean, it's so deceptive what people think about this beer for people that don't know. Like my father, you know, he's he's a big, cheap, you know, macro lager. You know, like really cheap macro lager beers like Genesee, old style beers like Pabst and Schlitz. I mean, you name it. And he won't touch this because he's thrown off by the color. You know, he's thrown off by the appearance of this brew, and he thinks that it's just going to be like a very like heavy-bodied, overwhelming alcohol content, which I don't know offhand what this ABV is, so I'm sorry. But I don't think it could be much higher than a regular lager. Look at the lacing. I mean, it just coats the glass. It's really very good, very malty. Not much of a hop presence as other stouts. You know, if you've drank like Rogue chocolate stouts or oatmeal stouts, they're gonna have a much more hop presence. But that's kind of like the characteristic of that region, you know, in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, this is just kind of like a milkshake beer in a way, you know. It's just the mouthfeel is just, I mean, it's deceptive though, because you think a milkshake's gonna be like heavy and thick, but I don't know, it's like contradictory what I'm even saying. It's like soft ice cream, man. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's air in this, you know, and it's got to be the nitrogen, man. That kind of like puffs it up like soft ice cream, you know, and it won't have as heavy of a feel as, say, hard ice cream. I mean, that's the best analogy that I can think of for it. Definitely coat your tongue after you drink it. You do get a little bit of a hop presence after that. A hop aftertaste, but nothing overbearing or anything that would make you upset. I don't know, man. I'm really trying to rack my brain to give this a grade. Long time ago, I've done Murphy's Draft Irish Stout. Very good beer, man. Excellent stout for beginners. If no one's ever had a stout before, I would highly recommend this Guinness Draught. You know what, man? I'm going to give this probably a solid A-. I'm going to give it an A-, man. Because it's just great. And the best part of this beer is when you get to the bottom, because that head really stays with you, man. That's the one thing that remains as you get through this beer. This tannish, frothy head will be the last thing left, and that last gulp, I gotta tell you, is so good. And I'm gonna savor it for myself, and I'm not gonna share it with you, 'cause I need some privacy in my life. Alright guys, thanks for watching. It's been Philly Kuts. I'll try to get more beer reviews out to you. I only have about 2 months left of grad school, and then I look for work in my respective field. I mean, I have a job now, but it's not associated with the degree I'm getting. So, big changes coming for me. I'm excited, and for all of you that have been there with me for a long, long time, you know who you are. I got some beer review dedications coming soon. To you guys, you know who you are, and have a nice day.